Hey
Coming
guys.
out.
Oh, sorry.
I want the world to know. Happy Pride!
Happy Pride!
Woo! We thought we would do you a quick little video on people's coming out stories, because we've been lucky enough to never have to worry about coming out before. We know that it's a huge deal for so many people in the queer community. It's like terrifying for most people.
Yeah, as a young person, some parents, you never really know what your parents are going to say. Yeah. And you never know what your friends are going to say either. So it's always good to go into it having some tips.
Yes. I mean, the lucky ones are the ones who don't even need to come out. I didn't need to come out to my parents. I just sort of casually slipped in there that I like girls and guys, and they were just cool with it.
Some of our friends from the Fucks Given podcast have told us some of their coming out stories.
Yeah.
So we wanted to compile a selection of videos from our friends with their best coming out tips.
Hope they're helpful, and yeah, enjoy from our friends.
Hi guys, I'm Riyadh.
I'm Rebecca Moore.
And I'm Sophie Anderson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Gurney, aka the Sex Doctor.
Hi guys, my name's Callum.
Hi, come Curious Babes, it is Ruby Rare. I am a happy bisexual sex educator. I've been out for 3-4 years, maybe longer than that, to everyone.
My advice to you for coming out would be, first of all, come out to yourself before you come out to anybody else. Really and truly ask yourself, what is your identity? Even if it is still questioning, hold that close to your heart and find a way to begin to love that identity. And then when it comes time to tell somebody, maybe don't tell the people in your inner circle, you know, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, but use a coming out guinea pig, someone that might be on the outside circle. So a distant friend, a teacher, or someone that you don't see very often, that you can trust not to take that information back to your parents, to the inner circle. That way you can sort of use their reaction as motivation to give you a little pep in your step for the next people that will find out. You can use them for advice on how to tell other people, and also you can lean on them. You can call them or go and speak to them just in case people in your inner circle don't react in the right way.
I think it is, it's always going to be difficult, I think, because you're finally admitting to yourself and everyone else, your peers and your family, who you really are, which is a big deal, because I guess ultimately you've not been 100% truthful with yourself until you do come out. So it is scary.
My first tip, which is the most important thing, is being out to yourself. That's the most important person that you're coming out to, and that can take time. There's no right or wrong with any of this stuff. It's about what's right for you. So come out to yourself, find ways to love and accept you and your sexuality, and then figure out the ways that you want to tell the people in your life.
And if you feel as though coming out to your family is going to be very scary or a hard thing to do, and if you feel they might not be too accepting of it, then speak to someone else. There's always someone you can speak to, whether that's a teacher at school, college or uni. I spoke to my tutor because I was terrified. Friends, not so much. Friends was very easy. I met this girl at college and she actually dragged me out of the closet kicking and screaming. That bitch just knew from day one. But, I'm eternally thankful because, at college at quite a young age, I was able to just be who I wanted to be.
Coming out is not easy for anyone, mainly because we live in a world where people assume you're straight or assume you're cis just from the get-go. So it can be a challenging thing. It can be especially challenging if you're from a culture or community or family or faith where being LGBT is trickier. So take care with it. It's not easy, but at the same time, there are significant benefits from your mental health to coming out, and also to finding your people in your own community.
Be proud of who you are, and be confident when you're. If you just tell them that, and there's nothing to be shy about or anything.
Ashamed.
Oh, ashamed? No shame at all. No shame at all.
No.
Just say it loud, say it proud, and tell them whatever it is that you want to get off your chest.
That is right. And do you know what? They'll either help you and support you, or they won't. And then it's like, well, actually, whether they're family or friends, that person doesn't deserve, to be in my circle.
That's it. We just kick them to the curb, negativity.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
Kick them to the curb.
We
if you don't like the way we are, We don't care.
No, exactly. And you don't deserve to be with us then. And that's exactly how you should be.
Yeah, exactly.
The beauty of the human experience is that we all have a different experience of the world. Remember that it's not the same pathway for everyone as it was for you. Many still face persecution or even death for being out and visible as an LGBTQIA+ person. If you have the strength and the access to be out, flaunt that shit. We can all learn from your glory, break down barriers, and blaze a pathway to freedom for all. But try not to impose your experiences on others. Telling someone to come out, even if they are or eventually will be a homosexual, can be just as damaging as telling them to repress their sexuality. Both take control away from an individual's ability to define themselves, which is the basis of a whole lot of mental health issues.
I would recommend coming out to people in stages. It doesn't need to be like everyone needs to know at the same time. Find the people who you love and trust and who are going to be the most accepting and positive about this news, and come out to them first. And every time you will tell someone else, it might give you that little bit of strength to tell all of the rest of the people that you know. People think of coming out as really scary and like there's going to be a lot of backlash. Certainly some people have got inherent homophobia or transphobia and will really struggle with elements of it. But in my experience, people are a lot more positive than you would think.
Hey, happy Pride London. So if I was to give you some advice, it's a bit weird because I've never had to come out to my family before. I was really lucky with my family and friends, and they knew that I was into guys, girls, and now whoever identifies as anything, I consider myself pansexual. But you know your parents and your family and your friends more than anyone. Definitely adjust your language to how you think they might react. And you don't have to tell them all in one go. It doesn't have to be a big family meeting. You can do it bit by bit, baby steps. Tell your friends first, your siblings first, then go to the big guns.
Give your parents time. It's hard sometimes, you know. They should love you unconditionally, but it's a strange thing to some people, you know, especially to dads. So give them time, you know, because your dad literally cannot imagine the things that you want to do to a man. So give them time. But you're in a good place right now. The world is changing. It's not great everywhere, but you know, here in the UK, it's definitely a lot better than it used to be, for sure.
When I presented my bisexuality to friends and family, it was actually less of a like big deal, we have to sit down because this is such a big thing. It was part of a conversation and it was quite an easy thing to communicate. There was misunderstanding and biphobia that happened from that point on, but then it was around addressing it confidently and collectively, and not feeling as like angry or attacky, like people attacking me or me attacking other people, so that they could understand my views and where I was coming from. That's like the most important thing. Another thing though is that you don't need to do everyone's queer homework for them. Like, you should not become the queer expert in your friendship group or your family just because of your identity. The people that you love should be doing their research and their reading for themselves. So find some resources that you can recommend, but after that, it's their responsibility to figure that stuff out. It shouldn't be you schooling everybody in your life.
The path individuals take to find out their personal sexual interests is rightfully varied, but we should be fighting for this discovery to no longer be so tortured and confusing, and to let people find this out on their own unexampled terms. To anyone who is struggling to come to terms with their sexuality, I can't tell you what pathway to take or the exact actions which will lead to happiness. But I can tell you that although you have experienced a whole lot of hate in this world, there is an unparalleled amount of kindness, affirmation, and love waiting for you out there.
We know that when people don't have to hide who they are from the people around them, they tend to experience less minority stress and less difficulties with their mental health. So come out, be proud.
My tip for being a good ally for someone that's coming out would be to not say that you already knew when they told them. Celebrate, have fun, be surprised, throw them a good party, properly celebrate. Don't just say it's not a big deal because you already knew. Like, it takes a lot of courage to come out, so it is something worth celebrating.
You will be your happiest when you're truest to yourself, and when you can finally be honest with yourself and those around you. Then honestly, life is so amazing. Good luck. Mwah.
The main thing is you being happy.
And we support you.
Yeah!
We love you.
Yes, we love you.
And if you don't want to tell anyone after listening to this and that you kind of just go about your own way and keep your sexuality to yourself, then do that as well.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, that's it.
Really
Anyway,
is.
happy Pride. We
Happy
love you.
Pride.
Mwah.
Love you. Bye.
Living authentically, finding solidarity with people who have fought the same battles as you, finding love, whether romantic, sexual, or platonic, is something that you can find. Trust me. It's not always going to be easy, and you're going to have to come out again and again, almost every day. But with it brings a chance to find an accepting chosen family, the ability to speak up for yourself and for others, and the intimate knowledge that you are not alone. I love you and respect you, and I'm there for you 1,000,000,000%. Stay strong.
But ultimately, I guess, just do what makes you feel comfortable within coming out. Like, I actually wish I had all these different versions of social media. You know, you don't have to sit your parents down or your friends or your peers. You don't have to sit them down and have a meaningful conversation about it, because you know what, it's normal. Chuck it on Instagram if you're too scared to do it. Send people a text, write a letter, tweet, do whatever you want. Do what makes you feel comfortable, I think, is my best advice. It doesn't have to be this big scary thing, but you'll always have a network of support, friends, family, whether it's people at college, uni, like I said. So yeah, you just do you, man, and you're going to be so happy about it when you do. Right, I guess that's me.
And final tip is around not coming out in some spaces. I know that initially for me it was really important that like everyone knew about my sexuality, and I still feel like that because it's something I'm proud of and I want to share. But I recognise that there are times in our lives or places in our lives where it's not safe to come out for whatever reason. And safety can look like an extreme thing, like an attack or something violent, but it can also look like you feeling uncomfortable or you feeling on edge or anxious. So follow what's right for you, check in with yourself and act appropriately from that. You're not a bad queer if you decide not to come out in a space for a certain amount of time, like at work if you don't want to come out immediately. That's something that's okay. Just go at your own pace, find what's right for you. I hope this advice is helpful, and happy Pride!
I wish you the best of luck with your coming out journey. Remember, no matter how anyone reacts, you've got a family of hundreds of millions of people around the world who are just like you and are ready to love and embrace you. So be brave, know that there's nothing wrong with you, that this is a gift that you have, if anything. Happy Pride season, and I'm sending you all my love.
Thank you so much for sending in those videos. It was so amazing.
Yes, and I really hope that any of those tips have helped you feel a little bit more comfortable about coming out yourself. Coming out is something that you should do in your own time. Don't ever feel pressured to do it. Don't anyone ever force you to come out. Do it in your own time and do it how you want as well.
If you have any of your own coming out tips, please leave a comment in the section below. Give this video a huge like and subscribe to our channel.
Yes,
and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video from us.
As well as we have some incredible episodes on our podcast about specifically, well, not specifically coming out, with some incredible coming out stories on there. So have a look through and see if you can find anything. We've got some incredible people talking about their sex lives.
And we will see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.